Hello everyone, welcome to Chaudhary Data World channel. Today I am here with a new video on SQL series in DQL commands, that is GroupBy and Having. We'll be watching both these functionalities, and this is going to be a very important video for you guys, because this is GroupBy is a very confusing concept for the beginners and also the very important concept. So we'll be watching all the details regarding both of them into this particular video. So let's get started with the video. Before moving ahead with this GroupBy and Having, I will first explain you that what GroupBy is, so that you should be having all confusions clear into your mind. So first one is, what is GroupBy? It is used for organizing similar data into groups. Whenever you are having a data set into your data table, into that definitely there are multiple type of data, or there might be that similar type of data existing over there. To organize those similar data into groups, it is only called as GroupBy. So here in an example, you can see that we are having table into which we are having two columns, ID and fruit, into which we are having multiple rows into this particular table in which fruit is same. You can see here that in the first ID also apple is there, third ID also apple is there, similarly for orange. So when we will group by fruit, that means group by with this particular column, that is fruit, then it will become apple, banana and orange. That means only unique values will be there, since you have group by on the basis of fruit column, and your ID column will be not be there. So here you will get that apple, banana and orange in the unique form, which means that there is basically you have grouped it on the basis of the unique values whatever into the fruit column. Now this particular grouping doesn't make sense if it has one functionality, that is of aggregation. So there again consecutive concept comes into the picture, that is aggregation. Now what aggregation is? So this is aggregation when you apply some functionality or some you may say the calculation over that particular group, then that group is beneficial for any of the calculation purpose or whatever it is. So here you can see that into the same table, when we grouped by fruit, and when we have taken count of ID, that means we are taking the counts of how many apple were there into this particular fruit in this whole table, then apple is 2, banana is 1, orange is 2. So this now becomes some meaningful data in front of us. So you can see that function where the values of multiple rows are grouped together as input on criteria to form a single value of more significant meaning. That means it gives more significant meaning into the data set whenever you are grouping it. After that, we are having third thing in front of us, that is what are famous aggregation applied over into any group. So first one we already see that count is the one. Another we are having sum, average, minimum and maximum. So same way as we applied count, we can apply sum, average, minimum and maximum. Now we will go to the real-time example that is in the first page, and here we can see that we are having multiple or you may say basically 4 operations we are applying into the group. That is first one, we will apply group by, that will be a normal group by which will contain only the groups whatever we will be grouping on the basis of some particular column. Now after that we will apply aggregation over it, which you saw there. Then there are two concepts again we'll be watching that are having clause and then order by clause. These are the extension of those group by and aggregation part. So let's jump to SSMS. So here you can see that we are having this particular first statement as group. We are going to group this cells table on the basis of category column. That means whatever the categories are, unique categories are there into the cells table, we will group them into different groups. So when we will execute it, you can see that we are having only column, that is category column from the sales table, which is not divided into group, that is furniture, office supplies and technology, since these three unique values are there in the category column. Now if you want to see what all things are there into the whole table, then for that I will just run this particular script so that you should not end up with any type of confusion. So you can see that we are having a big table into which we are having a category column, this particular column. Now this category column is having different data into it, furniture, office supplies and then technology, all these things. So when we are now grouping, it is living up on the unique values into the category column. Now the second operation which we will see is that we are having aggregation applied on this particular group. So if suppose if you want to count how many data or how many rows are there for the furniture column, furniture data, after that office supplies data, because there are three unique data into the category column. Now this three data definitely will be when we will group by on the basis of furniture, definitely we will be having multiple rows into furniture. So those count we want to find that how many rows are there related to or which is having furniture as the category into it. So when we execute it, you can see that category that means this furniture is having 8 rows, office supplies is having 19 rows and technology having the 8 rows. So when you will sum this up, you will end up with having total count of data into the whole table. That means 8 plus 8 16 plus 19 is equal to 35, and once you execute this whole table, you can see that there are 35 rows, correct? So it will execute like this. So after that we are having another small concept, that suppose here you are having no column name. It is the column with which we are having this count as value, so it is giving you as no column name. So you just want to name that particular column with some alias name. So this is called as aliasing concept. When you use as and then you pass some you may say column name over there, so it will be having now column into that particular column name into this particular column. You can see that count in category, I have just put it up here. So whatever categories you are having and the count in category, whatever rows into that particular category, it is showing up over here. Now another concept, that is again this having. We'll be watching that how this having works, since we already saw that what is group by and what is aggregation. In this particular line we saw what is group by, in this particular line we have saw that what is aggregation and how we can apply aggregation. One aggregation we already applied, that is count. Now we will be watching that how we can apply having over that. Having is nothing but you can correlate if you have following my series from past videos. So there we are having where clause in for other queries. But when you want to filter out some particular data from a particular group, then you need that having clause over there. Not where will not work over there. So what I am trying to tell you, that when you will execute this particular line of code, that means what you are going to do, you are going to take category column and count of the product name. That means whatever count of product names are there into that particular group, category group, since you are grouping it on the basis of category itself, so it will give you that particular thing, which is same here you can see, correct? Now you want to see only those groups which is having count of product name greater than 10 or arbitrary number, whatever you want to take. So it will filter out those groups only which will be containing the count of product name greater than 10. So once you execute it, it will end up with having only one data into it, which is office supplies, which is having 19 rows associated with that, and you are telling it up here that it should be greater than 10. That's why it has been returned as 19. And apart from that, office supplies and technology, technology and furniture were there, which was having 10 rows into it, 8 rows into it. So it didn't return that particular data. So this is how having work. It is a filter for the group. You may remember it like that. After that, we are having order by clause. So it's normal order by. When you were ordering the simple queries, that means you were ordering your data table. In this particular one, you will be ordering your group. So for that, there is nothing much over there. Only till here you are already aware this particular line which is highlighted over here right now, it is again doing the same thing, that is it is grouping on the basis of category into the sales table, taking out the count of the category as count in category. That means it will take up all the rows associated with that particular category, which we already saw into the previous queries. After that, what we are going to do, we are going to order by the count in category. That means whatever number of rows are there, suppose 8 and 19 were there, correct? So it will order in the form of 8 and then 19. That means it will be ordering it in the groups into the ascending order. You may change it to descending as well. It will then put 18 number of rows at the top, and then 8 and then 8. So once you execute it, you can see over here office supplies is at the top. That means it is having 19 rows, 8 and then 8. So that was whole about this group by, and this is only the important concept whatever right now I mentioned. It's a very small concept and a very important concept as well. So hope this is very much clear to you, and if you found this video helpful, kindly like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video with some other topic. Thank you so much guys once again.